though, that Biden was hoping for never really materialized. As we take a look at the map right here, Texas still becomes that, or still stays that reliable red that so many people have counted on the Republican side. The president taking Texas by a large margin. And you could argue that it was Latinos really who delivered the win for the president. You could argue that because when we take a closer look at the Rio Grande Valley, they just did not turn out the way Biden had hoped they would for him. Let's take a look at 4 years ago. A lot more blue, right, in the valley right there. And trust us, the margins were much better for Hillary Clinton than they were for Joe Biden. Clinton won most of these counties with 2/3 of the vote. Now let's look back at our updated 2020 map. Biden's margins were off more than 10 percentage points in almost every county in the valley here in Texas.
And with that setting the stage, Alan West with the Texas Republican Party is joining us now, the chairman of the party. So Chairman West, COVID-19 hit part of Texas very hard. Why do you think President Trump was still able to find so much support here? I should also say good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning to each and every one of you, and it's good to be with you. I think that the president was able to find support here because of a couple of things. Number one, the oil and gas industry that has really boosted our economy. We have the 10th largest economy in the world, has made the United States of America energy independent, a net exporter of energy resources, as well a provider of very good, high quality jobs for many Texans. That was something that Joe Biden said that he was going to transition away from. We know that Kamala Harris was a co-sponsor of the Green New Deal. So I think that had a big effect. But mainly what you saw down in Rio Grande Valley, my first trip after becoming chairman of the Republican Party of Texas was to the Rio Grande Valley. And my last trip before the election last weekend was from Harlingen all the way through Del Rio. And the fact that we were able to show that attention, show that support to candidates and to the people down in the valley and connect with them on principles and values, I think that that made a difference.
You've been very critical of Governor Abbott, particularly with the shutdown order surrounding COVID-19, but Texas remained red this election. President Trump even mentioned the governor by name. Do you give him some credit here with keeping Texas red, or do you think that it stayed red in spite of the governor?
I think that the credit goes to the people on the ground, the grassroots activists, the volunteers, the folks that were out there waving flags and going door to door. That's where the real credit goes. And I think one of the things I learned in the military is that leaders never take credit, they take responsibility.
I want to talk a little bit about the Texas State House. There have been some questions of the balance of power and Democrats needing to pick up 9 seats in order to take over that House. How confident are you this morning that Republicans are going to be able to hold on? I'm sure you've got to be at least pleasantly happy with the results so far.
Yeah, very confident. I think that we're going to do very well in retaining the Texas State House. I got about 3 hours of sleep, but it seems that we're going to do very well in holding on to the seats that were targeted by the Democrat Party and maybe have an opportunity to win back a couple of seats that were lost in 2018 when Republicans lost 12 state House seats.
And final question for you. I want to turn back to the presidential race. I know that the Biden and Harris campaign was really banking on being able to drop support from the Rio Grande Valley. That just didn't materialize. Why do you think that was?
I think that the Hispanic community and as well as the Black community connected with President Trump based upon his principles and values. The fact that they saw the lowest unemployment numbers in the Hispanic and Black communities on record. I think also when you talk about strength of family, Judeo-Christian faith heritage, small business entrepreneurship, those are the means by which we were able to connect with the people down there in the Rio Grande Valley who really don't want to be victims. They don't want to depend upon government largesse, and as well, they want safety and security. They want the border secured, and they don't want to see police defunded.
All right. Alan West, chairman of the Texas Republican Party, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure.
The presidential election still up in the air this morning with several key states outstanding.
Still right now, hours later, right? And some